Over this past weekend, I, like many of you I'm sure, played a ton of Animal Crossing. And today I wanted to talk about this game because I think this is, unintentionally, the best timed release this industry has or will ever see due to the situation the world is in right now. So if you're unfamiliar, Animal Crossing is, I guess, a town builder. You start the game off on a deserted island with a few animal friends, all living in tents, and you're trying to build the place up into a full-fledged town. You go around collecting resources to build various objects, to decorate and improve your surroundings. You quickly find yourself replacing tents with houses, for instance. Then you want to expand on those houses, build shops, a museum, etc., work on getting more of these lovable characters to join your island. All the characters have unique personalities as well as tastes, so you want to invite characters that you actually like, that you won't get annoyed by. There's just tons to do, and it's one of those games that doesn't really ever end. There are an insane amount of tools and items to decorate your town, your house with, and you could easily spend thousands of hours getting everything just the way you want it, only to discover some new stuff that makes you want to change everything all over again. In terms of the visuals, this game is a prime example of something I talk about a lot with Nintendo games. This idea I have about visually impressive versus visually appealing. The look of the game is incredibly simple, very cartoony, minimal UI, no mind-blowing details that are gonna, push the limits of the Switch hardware or anything like that. But it is so beautiful to look at, charming really, and that's something much harder to achieve in my opinion, something easy to get wrong actually. Just watching the wind blow through those iconic Animal Crossing trees, your fish swimming around in the museum, boys. Oh man, let me just talk a minute about the museum. This is where your collectathon items go, like fish, bugs, fossils. You collect all these items, you can sell them in the shop for bells, the game's currency, but you can also donate one of each in the game to fill out this museum. The place is massive with several rooms dedicated to each type. Walking through them, especially early on, you can see clearly how much of each thing there is to collect as you just see rows upon rows of fossil displays, bug cages and that. But these fish tanks, this is definitely what I'm going to go hard on in terms of the collecting aspect. I love looking at the fish, just watching them swim around. So cool. I love how I have one of the giant tanks, but I just have a single fish that goes in it. So you just got one fish in there swimming around all by himself. Just beautiful. The design, the look, the feel of this museum really entices you to want to go out and collect these things to fill the place up. Which again, that is much of what you're actually doing gameplay-wise, going around collecting items to either sell, donate to the museum obviously, or to use for crafting. It might sound monotonous, and it is to an extent, but it's one of those things where there's just a zen feeling to so much of this. Doing things, even as dumb as picking weeds, sounds like you'd hate it, right? Or not find it worth doing, but it's like, you pick a few and it's like, oh, the place is starting to look nice, and there's a few more over here, I better go off and get those. And you do build and upgrade tools that make things easier, like, whether it be chopping wood, catching fish. Obviously you have like a basic fishing pole, then you can get a better one. All the tools in the game can break, so there is a bit of managing going on there. You want to make sure you always have the right tools for the right jobs you're doing. But the big draw of this game is definitely the customization and decorating, whether it be your town or your house. Like I said, you can craft all sorts of things like furniture, but you can also customize things, and that's where players really get lost, as you can build like a simple wooden chair, but you can also change its color, add decals to it and that, to make it unique, and then do that with loads of other furniture to decorate your space in a way that is, again, unique to you, but all comes together nicely. There are already a ton of decorative items in the game to start with, but when you factor in the customization options, you're really looking at limitless possibilities. It's still early on, so people haven't had a chance to go too crazy with, again, decorating their houses, their towns, and that. The game has a real-time day and night cycle, if you're not aware, that gates progress, that you can skip by changing the Switch's time. And yes, I did do that so I could show more things in this video, okay, to the purists who don't like time traveling. Still, even those who are doing a bit of time traveling are early on in these stages, But from what we've seen in the videos Nintendo has shown, I think people are going to create some truly amazing towns and houses. There are also online functions in multiplayer. This is where some of my complaints come in, which it's mostly the same things I've been harping on with this game leading up to release, like lack of cloud saves, restricting one island per switch, that sort of stuff. I want to say, even though I don't like forcing people to have one island on their system that everyone has to share, I wish you could kind of share an island with people online, or at least give people more access and let more be done while people visit. Like, I wish via the best friend thing where you pick people to specifically make them best friends and they can use tools on your island. I wish when that's going on, you could actually give others permission to change your town, as well as be able to change it while people are visiting, because that's another thing. If you try to like put something down while someone else is visiting, a message pops up like, oh, it's rude to do that while people are visiting. So you're really limited in the things you can do during multiplayer. Again, I think those issues have a lot to do with save data being locked onto the console and there not being any cloud system, but that'd be cool if you had more options there. I wish there was just more to do, more reasons to visit other people's islands. Like early on, everyone gets a type of fruit tree that's native to their island, and they're different between the islands. Like you might have a pear tree and I have an apple tree, but you can get different fruit trees by visiting other people's islands, getting some of their fruit and planting it in yours. So like yesterday, I was actually talking to my lady friend, and at one point I was bragging about all the stuff I already had in the game and was talking about the trees. Like, yeah, I got orange trees, apple trees, and she goes, oh, do you have peaches? I'm like, yeah, girl, of course I got peaches. Note, I didn't actually have any. And she's like, oh, great, I'm going to be on in an hour and you can give me some. So I frantically started island hopping, trying to find someone with some damn peaches. Shout out actually to Emilio, a viewer of the channel who hooked me up, came in clutch and saved me from looking like an idiot. I wish there were more things like that, more reasons to go to other people's islands, and regularly, because even with like the fruit, once you get all the types on your island, you don't really need to do that anymore. That is something I'd like to see built on. So yeah, this is such a fun game that you can easily find yourself losing a lot of hours in, and I think that's why it really is the perfect release at the perfect time. I'm sure you're all sick of hearing about it, but yeah, things aren't great in the world right now with the pandemic we have going on. I know a lot of people are on lockdown, stuck in their homes, probably kind of nervous about how things are progressing, and I think this game is going to go a long way in keeping people who play it kind of chilled out. Like I said, it's just a very relaxing, upbeat, positive game. All the characters are cute and happy. It's like the opposite of what many are dealing with now. It also helps that it is very outdoor themed. You spend much of your time in the game outside, again, at a time where most people can't do that. And that's why I highly, extremely recommend this title, especially at this time. Even if it doesn't seem like the type of game you'd normally play, I'd say give it a chance. Definitely, if you are someone who is having trouble disconnecting, you're dwelling on all the news updates surrounding this outbreak, this is a game that I genuinely think can help you relax. Lose hours chopping wood, picking fruit, fishing, customizing your house, decorating your town, and even if it is just for a few moments, forget about all the craziness that's going on around you. Anyway, with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on Animal Crossing New Horizons in the comments. Are you currently playing the game? And do you think it is actually maybe helping you get through all this? Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this discussion of Animal Crossing New Horizons. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you want to keep the conversation going, hit me up on Twitter at Johnny Zakari. And join my Discord, ChiGuy and Friends. Link to both in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching.